Hello everyone, I've never done a video before, but I have obviously done shorts if you've been paying attention to the channel. But I wanted to try doing like a video for once. So, a bit of an update I guess. So in April I started growing catnip, went a bit trigger happy with it, and well, got quite a lot of seeds out of it as you can kind of see, just letting this refocus a little bit. Since then it's been slowly growing, and as you can see it's kind of matured. So you can see that I've been pruning it back a little bit. I can finally do a bit of a harvest. I missed a little bit there. And I've just been keeping it watered. Today it's going to be like 30 degrees. So I've just been keeping it like watered 2 or 3 times a day. But I think now it's at a point where I can kind of put it into another bigger pot, which I have got outside. And then I might try and use this pot to try radishes again, because I did try those back in April, but they just didn't take because of lack of sunlight. So I'm going to try them again with the knowledge that I now have. I think I might be able to attempt it again. But yeah, it's been going really well actually. My cat, well, she hasn't really smelt this plant yet, but I have got a bit of catnip drying on a plate, which I'll show you in a minute. So she's been liking that quite a bit. I woke up earlier on and she was just sat next to the plate, and the catnip was all over the balcony, so yeah, great. But at least she likes it. But yeah, when I do that update for the catnip and transplanting it to another pot, I will do a video on that. But I guess what I've learned, I've never done catnip before, I've never grown anything really before. This is like my first successful plant, and it's really easy. Obviously it's part of the mint family, so yeah, if you're looking to like grow something and you've never done it before, get a plant pot, put some compost in, and put some catnip seeds in, and it'll pretty much grow. I mean, this thing's wilted twice, so it's bounced back. You just water it, an hour later it's pretty much back to normal. Although my advice from what I can gather is put it in a plant pot, because it'll just spread. It's really aggressive. But yeah, it's really nice to smell as well. Apparently you can use it in teas. I might have a go at trying that out at some point, but I would need the what do you call it, the infusion like thing where you put the leaves in and it kind of spreads in the water. I'll have to look that up at some point. But yeah, I've just been watering it with this watering can that I got, and it's just a box standard watering can. It works, that's what it says in the tin. I'd recommend it. But honestly, at the beginning I was just using jugs. Honestly, not the greatest thing, but if you're on a budget like I am, it works. When I originally was starting to grow stuff, I didn't really have anywhere on the balcony that was like bright enough. But I found that chair and it's been thriving. I highly recommend it. Now these are spring onions. These were the second thing I grew alongside the radishes I grew on these onions. As you can see, they are crowded. What happened is I planted them. Nothing happened for like 2 weeks, so I tried to redo them again. And then everything just started growing. So they've just become a bit of a crowded mess. They don't get a lot of sunlight in this particular aspect, part of the balcony. Pardon me. But they do seem to get enough to at least grow, which is exactly what I wanted. They have become spring onions. They aren't really going to bulb at this point. I mean, you can see like a bit of bulbing at that bit, and like a bit of bulbing at this bit, but they'll never get enough sunlight to like grow into like proper, onions. But they are doing well. I mean, apparently if you put the ends in like water, the roots will grow and you can just replant them again. Obviously, there's only so many times you can do that before like the energy it has kind of disperses. But you know, it's worth a shot. But yeah, again, like 30-degree weather, it's the pots are drying out very quickly. I'm having to like water them 2-3 times a day. It's it's quite a mess. But yeah, I mean, I just got these seeds from Amazon and they're working. I mean, as you can see, there's a bit of some dead ends here, which I'm just kind of pulling off as I go along. I mean, I don't think it does any harm, but I think it's because of the heat. Oh, got a little bit of a flower there. I'll have to try and pick that out later. That's not going to focus anyway. So onto the catnip. So I started doing the catnip in May, and now we're on the 4th of July or something? No, 8th of July. Wow, time sure flies by. Which I have been doing progress reports in the shorts, but yesterday I pruned back and did the catnip, and I think it said that if you pick like a shady spot and put them on like a plate or something like that and let them grow out between like 3 and 7 days, they'll become, they'll dry out enough that you can just rub them and it'll turn like a powder. And that's what I'll try with the cats. As you can see here, you can see where it started to like flower. I assume I can just use that along with the normal catnip. I mean, it smells quite alright. I mean, I assume that as it dries out, it gets stronger, perhaps. I'm not actually sure that how it works. So if you've got any advice or anything like that, I'd love to hear it. Pardon me. As for the onions that are, well, I hope they bulb, let's take a look at those next. So, these are the onions. I took them out of the other plant pot, and they seem to have taken pretty well. They've been bulbing up a little bit. They, I think, can be harvested next month, because I put these in April. I suspect that I left it a bit too late, and I'm probably just going to get spring onions. But if I can get like a little onion bulb, that'd be cool. Like, it'd be amazing being able to dice up an actual onion that I've grown. That'd be really cool. But I think I'm gonna have to do another pot. I think. I mean, as you can see, I've kind of had to like break off the occasional bits so they've like dried up a little bit. But like, broadly speaking, I'm very happy with this. As for compost, for people out there that aren't sure or I've never done this kind of stuff before, I just bought the cheapest bag of Amazon. That's this stuff. Just, I think that I can put a link in the description for this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just multi-purpose compost. I didn't use any fertilizer or anything like that. It's just bog standard. I think it was like £8. And but yeah, same with the watering can. It just, I think it was like £8 or whatever. These seeds also came from Amazon. I mean, I could just put them in the description as well. My next plan is to take the catnip, put it in a wider pot, which I thankfully have, and then I'm going to use that pot the existing catnip pot, to take the radish seeds and have another crack at them, because I think I might be able to put them in a spot where I can get them to grow. Pardon me, I think they take like 30 days. When I tried my attempt, it was it was about 30 days, but they just haven't bulbed. They just what do you call it when they just, you get the leaves, but there's nothing else. But yeah, I just called it quits on the radishes because I just couldn't find a spot. But that's when the catnip came in, and I realised that I could use the chairs to lift them up enough just to get enough sunlight, and that seems to have been very, very successful for the catnip. So hopefully that works out well. But yeah, not really much else to say really. When I do the radishes, I will do a video on that, maybe a short as well, because I think you see, like when I first started, I had no idea how to do any of this, and I've just kind of picked it up as I went along. I would like to do like a step by step radish guide. Same with the catnip. If when I do another planting of them at some point, maybe for next year, I'll do a video of me like actually doing it from the very beginning to the very end, and I'll do progress reports on them using shorts, and then like a final review video at the end. Um, and then I'll do like a playlist so people can like take a look and try and follow along. The Yeah, I guess what I've learned is I've never done this before. I started off in April. I had nothing really. I had some leftover plant pots from like my grandparents and whatnot, and some of their tools. I just bought an 8 pound bag of compost from Amazon, bought the seeds from Amazon, and you just kind of just well, I didn't realize how easy it'd be. You just chuck the compost in, chuck the seeds in, water them, give it sunlight. The stuff just starts happening. And that's something I really want to like push to people. Just have a go. I mean, no one knows. Like, nobody will ever know unless you tell people. Just if you've got some spare compost, chuck it in a pot. See what happens. Usually with the watering, the compost, and enough sunlight, you can pretty much make almost anything happen. But yeah, I'm hoping to convey that with the channel. That like even if you don't know anything and have never done it before, you can do it. But yeah, that's honestly about it really. I'm sorry for like the umming and ahhing and that. I've just never done anything like this before. But hopefully it was watchable. Hopefully it was something you could get something out of. But yeah, see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.